What true fact sounds like total bullshit? Someone died on the Bulgarian version of Survivor. And the producers just decided to keep going like nothing happened. 4,300 years old, the oldest pine tree in the world stands in the Inyo National Forest, California. But no one knows what the tree looks like, where it is exactly, or if it really exists because the government keeps its location a secret. Your body contains more non-human cells than human cells. You're a neurotic, gassy generation ship for trillions of microbes. 14 years before the Titanic sank, a fictional story was written by a man named Morgan Robertson. In the story, the ship was described as the largest ever built at the time, same as the Titanic. It was also woefully short on lifeboats. And it also struck an iceberg and sank. The ship in the story was also a triple-screw propeller liner. And it was named the Titan. There are only 25 blimps left on Earth. Fred Astaire had a life membership in the National Skateboard Society and broke his left wrist skateboarding at 78. The Tyrannosaurus rex lived closer in time to the founding of Waffle House than it did to Stegosaurus. You guys can stop with the Cleopatra pyramids fact. It's been done to death. Might even say it's extinct. Every time you shuffle a deck of cards, it's probably a brand new, unique configuration of cards in all card decks ever to exist in history. A man, Michel Lotito, ate an entire airplane. It took him 2 years. Martin Luther King Jr. and Anne Frank were the same age. King just lived longer. Timelines F me up. Shaq only made 1 3-pointer in his whole career. Dolphins use sex toys. Specifically, male dolphins have been known to masturbate using live eels or decapitated fish. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Venus has a very slow planetary rotation. It takes 285 Earth days for 1 day on Venus. A year is 255 days. Fireflies don't eat. They do all of their eating as larvae glow worms. 10th U.S. President John Tyler, who was born in 1790, currently has a living grandson. Goats like to stand on trees. Hippos kill at least 500 people a year. Vatican City contains 5.9 popes per square mile. Mammoths were lumbering around Siberia 3,600 years ago. The Egyptians were making pyramids 4,000 years ago. The award for longest televised golf putt in history belongs to none other than Michael Phelps. Your bones are not white. They're typically pink. And you can get other colors by consuming certain medications. The human body is the most efficient on Earth for running. We use the least energy for running less than any other creature on Earth. Cleopatra lived closer to the time of the first moon landing than to when the ancient pyramids were built. Joe Biden was born closer to Lincoln's presidency than he was to his own. More people are killed by vending machines than shark attacks every year. Barnacles have the largest penis relative to body size in the entire animal kingdom. Holy Roman Empire and Texas Republic existed only 30 years apart. Bob Dylan and Kaiser Wilhelm II, the last German emperor and the King of Prussia at one point, were alive at the same time. Edit Wilhelm I to Wilhelm II. My bad, folks. Some birds can speak a few words of any language. The reason there's not a lot of Egyptian mummies is because the British elite ate them in the early 1800s due to a misunderstanding that eating them had healing properties. The U.S. made the last Civil War pension payment in 2020. The known deepest part of the ocean was found in 1876 on the very first voyage that set out to systematically measure ocean depths. To add even more WT fuckery, the ship HMS Challenger was only there after having to alter course due to strong winds in the intended path. Sharks have been on the planet longer than trees. The average number of human skeletons inside the human body isn't one. When it was donated to the Smithsonian, the Hope Diamond was sent through the mail with $145.29 in postage. Butterflies and moths start out as eggs and then hatch to become caterpillars. Then they create a cocoon. They basically turn into mush and then reassemble themselves as the adult form of the butterfly or moth. They only do this to procreate and make more moths and butterflies. On a side note, most of the large silk moths, like the Luna for example, don't eat or drink. They don't even have real mouth parts. They only live for a week or two, which gives them enough time to mate and lay more eggs. The Nazis were the first modern people to launch an anti-smoking campaign. Viagra, when mixed in water, can make flowers stand upright for several days. Strengths is the longest word in English with only one vowel. You can't tickle yourself or lick your elbow. Chalk is edible. Thanks to quantum tunneling, there is a 1/5.261 chance that when you hit a table your hand will go through it completely. Only about 50 of murders in the US get solved. When our hands and fingers get like older people's when we stay in water for too long, it doesn't mean we have to get out of the water. Fingers and hands become like that to help us grab objects when wet or underwater. 1/8 pregnancies end in miscarriage. Humans with a deficiency in thyroid-stimulating hormone production can fix that by taking a pill made of desiccated, ground up, smashed into pill form pig thyroid. The best part is it smells a little like bacon. A group of 57 people has a 99% chance that 2 people share a birthday. You can go the rest of your life without breathing. I read that 20 US veterans commit suicide every day. I can't wrap my head around that. How pineapples grow. It just doesn't look right. Wombat poop is square. The biomass of ants is more than the biomass of any other living animal. The actors David Niven appeared in a World War II patriotic action film set in the fighting in North Africa. It was written by Niven's friend Peter Ustinov, who served under Niven in the British Army and also starred William Hartnell, the first Doctor Who. It was filmed on location in Cairo. During the actual battle itself, the explosions were the real deal, courtesy of the Afrika Korps. Niven would go on to serve as an officer in the Commandos and allegedly the SAS during the war, returning to Hollywood when he was demobilized from the army. Every MLB player ever would only half fill most baseball stadiums. You can fit all the planets of the inner solar system between Earth and her moon. Orcas evolved from a land mammal. Fact: there are more people in slavery today than at any other time in history. Today, an estimated 40.3 million people, more than 3 times the figure during the transatlantic slave trade, are living in some form of modern slavery. You don't have to censor swear words on Reddit. Robert Wadlow was only 8 when he outgrew his dad.